Jane is Thor's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
And so she's all doing science and stuff, and she's looking for readings about Thor because she misses her boyfriend. And so, don't record this, it makes me nervous. And so she's going doing the science stuff, and she's having dinner with this guy, and they're dating, kind of. And then Darcy shows up, and she's like, oh, science, I have to go do this science thing. And so, because that's just how Darcy is.
Yeah.
And so they drive away, and she's like, I'll have dinner with you another time. Yeah, peace out. And so they drive away and they find these like weird little kids and they're like, I can do this thing. And so like gravity is like really weird, so the kid like pokes the truck and goes and it like floats. And it's really weird. And so she's all like, that's not normal. And so oh, but I forgot, before there's like this backstory about this world where like it was ruled by dark elves and the Asgardians beat them all except for this one guy, and his like kamikaze and is like trying to blow people up with this stuff, and his like red stuff is like it's like water, but it makes sounds like it's like really weird. Anyways, so she goes and she's like looking around this place, and Darcy drops her shoe down, and it like keeps falling. Like it's like a, you know, the game Portal where you like drop something through one end and go pee out the other end, and then she throws her car keys through and they don't come back. The guy's like, it doesn't work all the time. She's like, and then I don't remember what happens. Oh yeah, so she's going and doing her science thing, and she's looking around, and she finds this weird room, and she goes in, and she's like, falling into this weird thing, and then she like wakes up, and she's in this weird place. Oh no, yeah, and there's this like box thing, and she's like, oh, I better touch this box because it's dark and ominous looking. Boop! And then the red stuff from Thor is like, and it like crawls into her, and it's like, and so she wakes up and she goes and finds Darcy again. She's like, that was weird. And Darcy's like, you've been gone for like 12 hours. Like, gosh, where were you? Except she was like freaking out about a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, where were you? Science. And so, I'm really sorry. I'm struggling today. So she like, she goes and she's outside, and the police have like cut off all of their access to that weird building where gravities were in their portals and weird boxes with red stuff in it. And so she's like, hey, that's not right. And then thunder, and Darcy's like, hey, look over there. And she's like, oh, googly eyes, it's my hubby. Or except not really hubby, but it's my boyfriend. And so she's like running over to him, skipping. And it's raining everywhere except for on Jane. So when she leaves, Darcy's just left in her, and it's kind of funny, like, ha. Yeah. And so she walks over to Thor, and she's like, that was for leaving me. And she like slaps him, and he's like, whoa, because he's like a god and it doesn't even hurt. And so he's like, whatever. And so she like does this weird thing, and he's like, oh, to Asgard. And so sorry, did I spit on you? so they're in Asgard, and Darcy's like, what? And so on Asgard, like Thor is, we need to fix her because she has this red stuff. And so Odin's like, yeah, she can't be here, she's immortal. And Loki is in jail currently in Asgard. Mm-hmm. And we meet to Thor's mom, and she's cool. I don't remember what happens next.
I don't either. None of us have seen it.
I've seen it like 3 times, but that was like 3 months ago. 3 months ago is a long time. So I think like there's some like stuff where it flashes back to that one weird elf. It's actually like the 9th Doctor. It's pretty awesome. And he's all like speaking in weird elf stuff. And so he's trying to find the red stuff, which is called the Aether or the Ether or something like that. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, find the red Ether. And so on Thor's world, we learn about the dark elves, and he's like, Odin's giving us this nice backstory speech. And I like how fighting the elves, and they were evil, and they were trying to blow everything up with the red stuff, and blah, science. Not science, that's not science, it's magic, because it's, anyways. And then they start to be like under attack by these random people, which is actually like more dark elves, and they're like, we killed them all, but not really, I guess. And so then, wait, no, that happens a lot later. What happens next? I can't remember. Why are you asking? Who am I supposed to ask? Lillian, do you know what happens next? Okay, so,
I've seen it, but I don't remember what happened next.
God, that's a lot still. And then then let's pretend that stuff happened, and I can't remember. Oh, we see Loki, and he's all like in his jail, and he's got like gross hair, and he's all like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I cannot remember for the life of me.
Doesn't Thor ask Loki for help sometime?
Eventually, but not
Yeah.
really. I think it's the fight. They get attacked by the Dark Elves, okay?
Okay.
And so Thor's like, Mother, protect Jane. She's special and lovey and stuff. And so they go and hide, and then Thor's like, I must kill all the people with the Lady Sif and the Warriors 4 or 5 3 number. And so it's all his besties, and they're like, yeah, killing stuff and blah, 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 blah. And so then, like, they eventually get past them. The Dark Elves get past Thor and his posse, and they're going to find Jane because she has the red stuff in her. And so they're like, oh, we have to find her, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, Thor's mom dies, and it's really sad. You feel the feels. And then Jane's like, ah, and then Thor's like, no! And he gets super ticked off at the guys because they killed his mom, and so he's like throwing stuff. But they escape. So he's like panicking, and he's like, ah, my mom's dead. And so then Thor goes, no. They send his mom off a waterfall cliff in a boat that's on fire. Funeral.
It's pretty majestical.
It is. You haven't even seen it. How do you know? And then, wow, spoilers. And so,
You need to hurry.
so I'm trying. Okay, and so Thor, he's like, okay,
Emily.
we have to get the aether, I don't even know how to say it, out of Jane, because if not, she'll die. And so he says, oh, let's go give it to the Dark Elf. Thinking, right? And so they are planning to go to the Dark World to see if they can get rid of it. And also to avenge his mom. So Thor's like, hey, look, you've been out of here before, you know how to escape Asgard. How do we get to the Dark World? That's where, like, the Dark Elves are from. Very dark.
I figured.
And so it's all gross and like black sandy. So they have this great escape scene, and Loki turns into Captain America. It's hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
I
I wish I remember exactly what he said, because he was
like,
so funny.
This, it's like, I can feel the patriotism running through me. God bless America. It was just great. I love that part. The fiery passion. Excellent. And then they escape, so they're in the Dark World, and they're like, we have to figure out how to get this stuff out of her. And so, they find the Dark Elf, and he's like he has this like big, beefy, like, bull guy with weird horns, and he's like got this magic rock in his pocket. It's like, except it's not really a pocket, it's like a flesh pocket. It's gross. It's like in him, it's like his appendix, but not really, because like it was put in. It's weird. Okay, it's kind of gross. And so they're like, flesh pocket. It's like a hot pocket. Ew! Stop now! Oh, gross! And so,
so gross.
You are disgusting.
Come on, Olivia.
That's what I thought of when you said.
Okay, continue. We only have a few minutes left.
And so they fight, and they're like, oh no, we're gonna die. So Loki had this illusion that he betrayed Thor and Jane and cut off Thor's hand, but not really, because it's just illusion.
Right, yeah.
And so they got the aether out of her, but then the bad elf has it, and he's like, see you later, punks, and he flies away, but his minion dude with the flesh pocket is still there. And so he's like all beating him up, and throw rock at Thor, and Thor rock. And anyways,
1 minute.
Okay, and so they're fighting, pew, 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 and Loki stabs the dude, and he's like, yeah, you're dead now, except he didn't say that. So the guy turned around and like, gave him a big hug, but then he also impaled Loki. Yeah. And so Loki dies, and Thor's like, brother! In his awesome British accent, which makes no sense because he's Norse.
And Australian in real life.
Anyways, so Jane's all like, come on, we have to go. I won't let you mourn the loss of your brother. And so they go, and they hide in this cave, and she finds Darcy's car keys from before, and like, oh my gosh, it's the pearl. And so, so they go through, and they're like back on Earth, and so the Dark Elf is currently in New York City, and he's like blowing stuff up with the dark stuff, and frying really hard. There's like not much left. So, and so they have to go stop the elf, and so they have these like, the reason that there are portals is because the 9 realms are, like, converging into, like, one big thing that are, like, so portals, and so, Jane and her science bros, except they're not really bros, because Darcy, anyways, and, they made this thing that, like, creates portals momentarily, and so they can, like, portalize people. Like, so if there's, like, a legion of dark elves marching across, they go on the button, and they go, no one knows, somewhere. Anyways, and so they start, like, pewing all the bad guys away, and they're, like, falling through portals, and it's really cool. And then,
Just tell me how it ends!
I can't, that's spoiling! Actually, it's not. Anyways, and stop. So they fight, and they kill the dark elf, and he's all dead, and then they fix everything, and everything's happy. And then the last after credits scene, holy crap! And then it's like, okay, so it's Odin talking to Thor, and he's like, blah blah, I wish I could be as awesome as you. Except he said more like majestically. And then Thor's like, thanks, but, you know, gotta go see his home slice. So he leaves, and then Odin turns into Loki, and it's just illusion the whole time, and Loki's not really dead, and I don't know how I feel about this, oh my gosh. And it was such a great movie, I loved it. Okay,
we